Hey, what's going on guys? Welcome back to another video. Today is an interesting one because I'm actually going to be showing you guys how my physique has changed as a result of COVID. So I didn't catch COVID. I done a COVID like antigen test, or not antigen test, just normal COVID swab test. And basically I came out negative when I did have COVID like symptoms, but I came back negative, so it's all good. So I don't believe that I've caught COVID. But as a result of the whole pandemic, lockdown, gyms closing down, everything being moved online, my physique has changed drastically. Like, it's changed a lot. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a picture over here, and on this side you can basically see what my physique was looking like around about a year ago. So I think this is December of 2019. And basically it looked like that up until maybe about January 2020, right? So I basically started the year pretty much looking like this. I was lean, I was shredded, I was cut, and I was strong. And you know what, if I show you guys my physique now, you guys are going to be pretty shocked. And this is what it looks right now. Okay, so as you can see, I'm a lot bigger, not in a good way. I've lost a lot of muscle. I am a lot fatter, and I don't have any definition, and my strength's gone down as well. So, what am I going to do about this? Do I like where I'm at right now? No, I don't. I don't like it. I'm not happy about it. Something needs to be done, and so I'm going to be showing you guys in this video what you can do to basically transform your physique. There's three things I need to do now in order to change my physique, from this back to this. Okay, first thing that I need to do is need to get my nutrition on point. Nutrition is like 80% of the results, guys. I need to get my nutrition on point. The second thing that I need to do is I need to start training again. Now, gyms are closed again in the UK as of the date of recording, so I need to come up with some other alternative means of still training, right? So generally, as a rule of thumb, they say that it takes about a third of the volume required in order to maintain the muscle mass that you have, or the strength that you have. So if, for example, you was benching 100 kg, you need, in order to maintain that level of strength, you'd only need to be benching around 33.33 kg, right? 34 then, let's say 34 kg, and you'll be able to maintain that strength. Okay, so it's not a lot at all. So you've got your nutrition on point, just training again. What's the third thing? The third thing is just getting overall gym habits, getting the mindset back on, just paying attention to sleep. Sleep's really important, getting sleep on point, make sure your recovery is on point, making sure your mood is good throughout the day, so when you do train, you're focused, you're hitting it hard. And yeah, man, just overall lifestyle and just mindset. So those three things, if you get that on point, you can make a massive transformation. So what I'm going to be doing on this YouTube channel is showing you guys all the steps that it's going to take in order to change my body again. Okay, to going from this, from fat to fit, right? Going from somebody with absolutely no visible abs to a guy with abs, six pack. So that's the plan. So I'm going to be basically walking you guys through how I'm going to be calculating my macros. So your macros are basically macronutrients, and these compose of things such as like proteins, fats and carbs, right? Those are your main, that's basically what you need to pay attention to. The other thing you need to pay attention to is your calories. That's really important. The most important thing when it comes down to nutrition, in my opinion, calories, and then it's your proteins, your fats, your carbs, and then your micro. Okay, if your purpose is to kind of lose fat, okay, or lose fat. So in this case, because I've been struck by COVID, right, I'm detrained, right, my nutrition is terrible at the moment. What I'm going to be trying to do is recomp. So I'm going to be bumping my protein intake high, and I'm going to be keeping my calories probably in a deficit. I'm going to be staying in a deficit just so I can kind of lose weight at a slow rate to preserve all the muscle that I do have, and also keeping my protein high. Alright guys, so what I've done is I've prepared the calculations that you guys need to do. If you guys want to follow along, I'm going to explain it right now. So This one's a really quick and easy way to kind of do it, and it's something that if you kind of know, it's really easy to remember. So if you wanted to just work this out, whilst you're, on the go, you're on the train, something like that, it's pretty easy to remember, so you can just work it out whenever you need it. I am going to include a spreadsheet, which is way more thorough than this, and you're going to be calculating your BMR, you're going to be applying your activity levels, you're going to be factoring in how often you train, and all sorts. So it's a really, really comprehensive kind of spreadsheet that I've made, and I use a bunch of resources online, largely from Jeff Nippard himself. So if you guys want to kind of follow that one, then the link to download that will be in the description below. But equally, I think it's quite useful just to kind of go over this quick method. Okay, so my current body weight is 174.5 pounds. Okay, if you convert that into kilograms, it's 79.15. Now I've basically rounded up to around 80 here, just to make things easy. Now, if you are used to recording your weight in kilograms, then to convert that into pounds, just times it by 2.205, or even 2.2 is fine. Once you've done that and you've got your body weight in pounds, so I rounded up again from 174 to 175. It's honestly not going to make much of a difference, and I'll explain why later. You then need to times it by either 13 or 15. So normally if you times the number by 15, you do get a number quite close to maintenance. So I've chosen the number 14, just because so normally, like, if for example you think you've got a pretty high metabolism, you think you work out quite often, your job demands quite a lot, then in terms of physical movement, then you can use 15. If for example you're sitting around, you're at home all day, blah blah blah, then go with 13. But honestly, it doesn't really matter, so because you're going to adjust it. That's the thing with this. Any calculator you use online, regardless if you use a spreadsheet, an online one, you work it out yourself, it's all going to be wrong, because they're all guesstimates. You're going to need to adjust it, right? So honestly, it doesn't really matter too much here. You're going to figure this out. So I've chosen 14. That basically gives me 2,450 calories as my maintenance. So what this means, guys, is if I eat 2,450 calories, I'm going to stay the same weight. I'm going to stay at 80 kg, or I'm going to stay at 175 pounds. Okay, now my goal is to lose weight. I want to lean down, right? I want to lean down and I want to pack on some muscle. Okay, so what I'm going to do, guys, so this phenomena is called recomp. Now normally you can only recomp when you're a noob, when you've just started lifting. Because I'm detrained, it's possible to do so. So I'm going to go with one. So what I've done is I've taken my maintenance calories here, which is 2,450, and I've subtracted 300. Now there's a range again. You can choose 300 to 500. It depends, man. Like if for example you feel like when you cut, you have to cut pretty hard, then it might make sense going for 500. If for example you're one of those guys where it's really easy to lose weight, you've got a high metabolism, then maybe 300 is enough. Okay, so again, if you've never done this before, play it safe, go with 300, and then if you're not seeing any progress, take another 200 off. But yeah, so I've basically chosen 300, so technically I should be able to lose weight at 2,150 calories. So it's not a lot, it really isn't a lot of calories here. And it makes sense because when I was dieting last time, at around 75 kg, I think I needed to be around 1,800, 1,900 to kind of, initially. So it really wasn't a lot of calories. So next up here, now you've figured out how many calories you need to consume. So in fact, I'm going to round up to 2,200. Okay, so I'm going to round up to 2,200 calories. And the next step is you need to figure out how much protein do you need, right? So in terms of your calories, okay, is going to be divided, or is going to be split 3 ways. Okay, so it's basically your protein, your fats, and your carb. Okay, so what's important to know about them is they're not equal, right? They're not, in terms of energy, proteins, fats, carbs, they don't store the same amount of energy. They actually store different amounts of energy. So what is calorie? So calorie is basically a unit to burn that food in order to raise the temperature of the water by 1 degree. That's basically your calorie, right? So technically it doesn't really mean anything, right? But we're just using calorie as like an idea to figure out how much energy is actually stored in this thing that I'm eating. If you're eating like a banana and it's 80 calories, then you can compare that to, like, I don't know, like a donut which is 300. Then you can kind of figure out, oh, okay, so this donut, it's got more calories than this apple, and you know, it's more calorically dense. It allows you to kind of make that distinction. And because we use calories to, you know, as a as the consistent unit of measurement of energy across all the foods that we eat, we can make this kind of relative comparison between the food, as which one's lower calorie, which one's higher calorie, and by how much. Okay, so I'll try to put some more information on the screen if I find some, but yeah, honestly, you guys don't need to know this, but if you want to just understand a little bit more, then it may be helpful. So we figured out how many calories this is. Now we get our calories, or this energy, through food. Food is made up of proteins, fats, or carbs, and they contain different amounts of energy inside. So for every 1 gram of protein, right, you get 4 calories. Okay, you get 4 calories. Okay, I'm just going to put 4 there. Right, so if you had 1 gram of protein, you consumed 4 calories. If you had 1 gram of fat, you basically consumed 9 calories. If you consumed 1 gram of carb, you've consumed 4 calories. Okay, so what we've done is we've figured out now how many calories do we need, and now we need to figure out how much protein, fats, and carbs do we need in order to hit this number of 2200. Right, of 2200. Okay, so and this makes sense because think about, fat is more calorically dense. You know, as we, you know, growing up or whatever, we're always told, oh, I need to avoid that as high fat. I don't want to eat that's got too much fat, I'm going to gain weight. Right, the reason why we say fat will make you fat, or the reason why fat is called fat, is literally because it's the most calorically dense macronutrient. Right, so right, okay, so now we've done that, let's move on. So in terms of working out how much protein you want, normally, right, in the olden, like, you know, back in the day, people used to say 0.82 grams per pound, right? And then people changed it to, it became 1 gram per pound. Now, for example, I think the trend, or like for recomping, they're saying they're saying a sliding filament model. So they're saying, or sliding model, not sliding filament, but a sliding model. So this sliding model basically means you can choose anywhere from 1.2 grams to 1.6 grams, right? And you know, if for example you're cutting, you're getting really, really lean, you can go for like the higher end. If you're like a big guy, you can go with the lower end, right? You don't need as much protein, you're already quite big as it is, right? Me personally, I'm going for somewhere in the middle, which is around 1.4 grams per pound. And then I kind of was like, actually, you know what, I want to change that. So I thought, because I'd say I'm quite big at the moment, I'm going for 1.2. So I took 1.2, I times that by my body weight in pounds, which is 175. That basically gave me a total amount of 210. So the amount of protein I need is 210 grams. Okay, if you do 210 times 4, that gives you 840. That tells me that if I eat 210 grams of protein, it's going to cost me 840 calories, right? And I only have 2150 or 2200 because I rounded up. So that would mean I would have remaining 1360 calories left, right? Now this 1360 calories, I now need to divide that into fats, right, or carbs. Now it depends how much fats and carbs you want. Generally people go with anywhere from 20 to 30% of their like total calories as fat, and the remainder they'll use as carbs. But honestly, in my opinion, it doesn't really matter. What I like to do is focus more on the calories and the protein, and then see where my fats and carbs fit in my diet, and then I adjust it as I go along. If I notice, you know, my workout's stuck and, you know, I don't have any energy throughout the day, then I'll prioritize carbs. If I notice, actually, you know what, I think my mood is low and I just feel like just not good, and, you know, like I feel like my hormones are not, you know, functioning well, then I'll basically, you know, focus more on the fat. But yeah, it honestly does depend, and I don't think it matters too much. Focus more on the calories and your protein. Okay, this is probably the most important thing. Right, in the beginning I basically said, okay, it doesn't really matter about how accurate this number is. Okay, here's why. Okay, so the reason why I said this number doesn't really matter is because what you're going to do, guys, is you're going to take that number, that 2,200, and you're basically going to try it out for like a week or two. Okay, you're going to try it out for a week or two, and in doing so you're basically going to notice any changes in weight. So the day you start, cutting, you need to basically take a measurement, okay, your body weight, and then every day I want you to take a measurement, and then basically at the end of a week basically find your average and see, okay, did you lose weight from day 1 to day 2. Repeat this for 2 weeks. Okay, repeat this for 2 weeks, and then basically see, are you gaining weight, losing weight, or staying the same. If for example you're staying the same, what does that mean? That basically means that you're eating your maintenance, right, amount of calories. That means the calories that you're eating for the last 2 weeks is your maintenance. That means you need to take away calories 300 to 500, right? You can take away 300, and then you can basically see how your weight changes. If you're losing weight, if you're not losing weight, go to 500, right? If you've decided, actually, you know what, I'm gonna choose 500 and I'm gonna take away 500 away from my maintenance, but you're losing too much weight, then change it to 300, add to it 200 extra calories on, right? You're adjusting it. If for example if for example I start eating 2,200 calories and I notice that I'm gaining weight, right? That means this number is too high, or it means I'm not tracking properly as well. Not tracking properly could be a reason for even if you were to lose weight as well. But yeah, so if for example I was eating 2,200 calories and I was gaining weight, that basically tells me that this is too high. I need to actually cut down. So I would basically take away again 300 to 500, adjust for 2 weeks, and see how my body responds. Okay, if for example I eat 2,200 and I am losing weight, then that's fine. Then the only question to ask is, how fast am I losing the weight? Am I losing it very quickly, in which case I want to add some calories on or reduce my activity level, or if I think it's a good pace, then I'll basically leave it. But it's, at the end of the day, guys, what I want you guys to take away is it's trial and error, and you guys are going to have to adjust as you go along. There's no way you can figure out the exact number, the legit number, because everyone's body is different, and there's not like a one size fits all approach. So yeah, that's why I'm saying it doesn't really matter which method you use. If you want to use the calculation method here, or you want to use the spreadsheet, it honestly doesn't really matter. But the main thing is just be consistent with it and be accurate when you're tracking your food. Okay, so you're probably wondering next, okay, how the hell do I know how many calories is in my food? Okay, what I want you guys to do is download MyFitnessPal, and everything you eat, I need you to scan it and weigh it. Okay, scan the food and then weigh the food, put it into the app, and it will tell you how much calories you're eating throughout the day. And yeah, pretty much that's basically the best way to kind of track your macros and how to figure out your macros as well. So I'm going to try this out for about 2 weeks, and then I'm going to see what's happening. Hopefully I will basically start losing weight at a reasonable rate. I think they normally say about 10% of your body weight a week is a good kind of rate. So for me, if I lose anywhere from about maybe 1.5 pounds to about 2 pounds maximum, then that should be okay for me per week. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys found that useful. I hope you found it informative, and if there is anything I missed out, or anything you think it would be useful, just leave it in the comment section below and I'll get back to you. And yeah, if you can help anybody else out in the comment section, that'd be great as well. But yeah, if you guys want to see more videos like this and you want to stay up to date with the journey of getting that physique back, then hit the subscribe button, and the bell as well to get notified. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.